Hello, I'm Shivani. This is a Curly Bookworm, and I'm coming to you from California, where, by the way, my hair feels so good. I can't even look at that. Look at the curls, and it's gorgeous. Anyway, so self praise apart, I'm here to do my wrap up for the month of September. I didn't read much, but let's get into it anyway. So, like I said, I did not read much, and that's because of my new job, which is hella awesome, but it's also hella crazy. I've been traveling like crazy, and I'm not able to post as much, and obviously, that means that I'm also not reading as much because there's so much going on. But let's get into what I've read so far anyway. The first book that I read was Harry Potter, the first book again, but I didn't read it. I did something really interesting. Earlier this year, I put my goals that I wanted to test out audiobooks, and I'm going to link it here for you to see those goals. But yeah, so I decided to use a safe route and basically start reading with Harry Potter. Not reading, listening, reading, whatever. The point is that I started listening to Harry Potter. I signed up for an Audible account, which, by the way, for India is like incredibly expensive. So I'm hoping that they're able to figure that out soon, because I'm not sure I'm going to stay on it, because at this point it's far too expensive for me to hold on month. If you guys know any alternatives to Audible, which is cheaper, I'm happy to take suggestions from you. But anyway, on to Harry Potter and the listening slash reading experience. It was narrated by Stephen Fry, which is amazing because the man is just genius. But having said that, I don't know how I felt about it. I liked it. I mean, I love Stephen Fry and I love Harry Potter, great combination. So it was great, but I don't know how I feel about any other book. So I'm going to try one more audiobook before I decide. As you guys know, I really like Harry Potter, so there's no rating on that one except for 5. But yeah, the audiobook experience, I would say, is like a 3.5 to 4. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I need to do at least one more audiobook before I can decide if I truly love it or truly dislike it or whatever. The second book that I read was The Perks of Being a Wallflower. This one has been on my list forever. I've tried to, avoid the movie the whole time because I didn't want any spoilers. I wanted to read the book before I ever watched the movie, though I did watch like some scenes from the movie by mistake, and it looked really good, too good to sort of change the channel on. But the book, unfortunately, I wasn't that impressed with. I felt like the protagonist was just a little bit too simple. Like, I know he has certain issues which I won't give away, but basically I felt like it was a nice book, but it wasn't truly satisfying. Maybe it's the overhyped part of it, I don't know. But the point is that I felt a little bit disappointed with the book. It did not work for me as well as I would have liked it to. Having said that, it was a good book. It just wasn't an excellent book. I think I rated it about 3.5 on 5. I felt like the author had done a disservice to whatever it is that the boy was going through, and it seemed oftentimes confusing to me. And looking back now, the few scenes that I have seen in the movie just seemed a lot more efficient in sort of describing whatever was wrong with the boy, and sort of showing it, rather than the description that I was reading. It felt a bit hollow to me. So the next book I read was a mystery book. This was called Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. Great book. Loved it, finished it on the flight, which was seemingly the only time that I can actually read these days. This book is set in England. It is about a woman who loses her daughter. By loses, I mean that she's a teenage girl who walks out, goes to the library one day and never comes back. And the book is now set like 15 years later or something like that. And she's sort of still struggling with having lost a child, especially because there's been no closure on it. And the mystery is really trying to uncover what happened to her daughter. I think I basically gave it a 4 on 5, which is a good read, a pretty good read actually. So the next book that I read is this one. This one is Kiss Me Someone Stories by Karen Shepherd. This is a bunch of short stories based on different kinds of women, like crazy women, fun women, hot women, all kinds of women. And I love female-based centric stories, not just because I can relate to it and because I'm female, but because there are complexities, I feel like, in a lot of female characters which haven't necessarily been explored as much as the other gender. And I might be biased, I might be wrong here, so sorry about that. But this book is so good. It's as you can see, I'm almost done with it. There you go. I'm almost done with it. So I'm putting it in this wrap up. It's a 5 on 5 for me. It is definitely one of the best short story books that I've ever read in my life. That I know that's putting it on a big fat pedestal, but the writing is so good. I cannot even begin to tell you how well articulated and well put together the writing on this book is. I definitely recommend that you pick it up if you're in the mood for short stories. I must warn you that it's a bit abrasive, I want to say. What's the word for it? I feel like, yeah, it's a bit strong in its language and its themes. Um, and it can feel a bit intimidating at times and a bit overwhelming at times, so you have to take it in doses. But I recently bought this one and I'm in love with this book, and I thought you should know about it. The next one that I want to talk about is the Miss Bond series. This is the second book. A couple months ago I read the first book in this series. Now I'm almost done with the second book. This is such a great series. I love the world building. I've said this before. The last book was a 5 on 5 for me, and I feel like this one's like a 4.5 on 5. I mean, I love this book. I love the characters. They've got so much depth, and so yeah, that's it. If you think that any of these books would be great for someone that you like, recommend this and share this video. Like this video if you liked, give it a thumbs up so I can feel great about myself. I'm gonna go now. Bye.